In the Bhagavad Gita, we encounter a profound dilemma in Karma-Sanyasa yoga. This revolves around two paths: Sannyasa, the renunciate seeking spiritual liberation, and Grihastha, the householder fulfilling social duties. Arjuna grapples with this tension, questioning Dharma. Sannyasa calls for detachment and spiritual enlightenment. Grihastha involves social obligations and spiritual growth. Which path is superior for attaining spiritual liberation? Arjuna, the valiant warrior caught in the throes of a moral crisis on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, embodies this very dilemma. Torn between his duty as a warrior and his aversion to violence, Arjuna seeks guidance from his charioteer Krishna, who is the embodiment of divine wisdom. Arjuna's question is direct and poignant: which path is better? The path of renunciation or the path of action? He grapples with the allure of a life free from worldly entanglements. He sees the appeal of a solitary existence devoted solely to spiritual pursuits. However, he is also acutely aware of his responsibilities as a warrior and a prince. He understands the importance of fulfilling his dharma, his duty, in the context of his social role. This conflict between his spiritual aspirations and worldly obligations pushes him to seek clarity from Krishna. Arjuna's dilemma is not merely a personal one. It reflects a universal human struggle. We all grapple with the tension between our desires for material comfort and security and our yearning for something beyond the material realm. We seek a path that aligns our actions with our spiritual aspirations, a path that leads to inner peace and fulfillment. Krishna, in his divine wisdom, unveils a profound truth. Both paths, when traversed with the right attitude, can lead to the ultimate goal of spiritual liberation. He emphasizes that it is not the outward renunciation of the world, but the inner state of detachment that truly matters. Krishna explains that true renunciation lies not in abandoning one's worldly duties, but in performing them without attachment to the fruits of those actions. This is the essence of Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action. It involves dedicating all actions to a higher purpose, acting without ego or desire for personal gain. Krishna further elucidates that even while living in the world, one can cultivate an inner state of renunciation by relinquishing attachment to desires and ego-driven pursuits. This inner detachment allows one to act in the world without being bound by it. Krishna's message is clear. The key to liberation lies not in choosing one path over the other, but in purifying one's intentions and actions. He teaches that true freedom is an internal state attainable regardless of one's external circumstances. Central to Krishna's teaching is the pursuit of self-knowledge, the realization of one's true nature as Atman, the eternal self. This self-knowledge, according to Krishna, is the ultimate key to liberation. It dissolves the illusion of separation between the individual self and the universal self, leading to a state of unity with the divine. Krishna emphasizes that the path to self-knowledge lies in transcending the limitations of the ego, the sense of I and mine, which binds us to the cycle of desire and suffering. Through selfless action, meditation, and contemplation, one can gradually quiet the mind and develop the clarity to perceive the true nature of the self. This process of self-discovery is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a transformative journey that requires dedication, discipline, and surrender. It involves dismantling limiting beliefs, confronting one's shadows, and ultimately awakening to the boundless potential within. Section 5, reflecting the divine, recognizing Brahman in all things. As one progresses on the path of self-knowledge, one begins to perceive the interconnectedness of all things. The veil of illusion that separates the individual from the universal begins to lift, revealing the underlying unity of existence. This realization leads to the understanding of Brahman, the ultimate reality, the divine essence that permeates all of creation. It is the recognition that the same divine spark that animates our being also animates every living creature, every atom in the universe. Krishna reveals that he himself is an embodiment of this universal consciousness, this Brahman. He is the divine principle that sustains the universe, the source from which all beings emanate and to which all beings ultimately return. This realization of the divine presence within and all around us is not merely a philosophical concept. It is a profound shift in perception that transforms our relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. The Section 6. Unveiling the Text, Contradictions and Interpolations in Chapter 5. As we delve deeper into Chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, we encounter certain verses that seem to contradict the central message of Karma Yoga. These verses appear to advocate for a more traditional understanding of sannyasa, one that emphasizes physical renunciation and detachment from all worldly actions. Scholars have identified these verses as potential interpolations, additions made to the original text at a later point in time. These additions likely reflect the evolving interpretations of the Gita and the influence of different philosophical schools of thought. While these verses may seem contradictory on the surface, they can also be interpreted as emphasizing the importance of inner renunciation, even for those who choose the path of sannyasa. True renunciation, as Krishna emphasizes throughout the Gita, is an internal state, not merely an external lifestyle. These apparent contradictions within the text highlight the dynamic nature of spiritual teachings and the importance of approaching sacred texts with discernment and an open mind. They encourage us to engage in critical reflection and to seek the underlying essence of the teachings, rather than getting caught up in literal interpretations. Section 7. The Liberated Soul, Transcending Fear, Anger, and Desire. The fruits of following the path of Karma-Sanyasa yoga, as described by Krishna, are profound and liberating. Individuals who have attained self-realization, who have merged their individual consciousness with the universal consciousness, transcend the limitations of the ego and experience a profound shift in their being. One of the most significant outcomes of this transformation is the eradication of fear. When one realizes their true nature as eternal and unchanging, the fear of death, loss, and the unknown dissolves. This fearlessness empowers individuals to live fully in the present moment, embracing life with courage and equanimity. Similarly, anger, which stems from a sense of separation and ego attachment, also loses its grip on the self-realized being. They recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and respond to situations with compassion and understanding rather than with anger or resentment. Desire, the root cause of suffering according to Buddhist teachings, also ceases to bind the liberated soul. Having tasted the bliss of unity with the divine, worldly desires lose their allure. This does not mean that they become emotionless. Rather, their desires become aligned with the divine will, their actions motivated by love and compassion. Section 8. Freedom within, the hallmark of self-realization. The most defining characteristic of a self-realized individual is their unwavering inner peace and freedom. This freedom is not dependent on external circumstances or achievements. It is an unshakable state of being that arises from the depths of self-knowledge. These individuals are not swayed by the ups and downs of life. They remain anchored in their inner truth, responding to challenges with grace and equanimity. They are free from the need to control or manipulate others, their actions flowing from a place of love and wisdom. They live in the world, but are not of it, their actions guided by a deep understanding of Dharma. Their hearts filled with compassion for all beings, they become beacons of light, inspiring others through their example of selfless service and unwavering inner peace. This inner freedom, this liberation from the shackles of ego, is the ultimate goal of Karma-Sanyasa yoga. It is the realization of our true nature as divine beings, free from suffering, fear, and limitation. Section 9. Conclusion. Embracing the path of Karma-Sanyasa yoga. The path of Karma-Sanyasa yoga, as elucidated in the Bhagavad Gita, offers a profound framework for navigating the complexities of life and attaining spiritual liberation. It teaches us that true renunciation lies not in rejecting the world, but in transforming our relationship with it. Through selfless action, inner detachment, and the pursuit of self-knowledge, we can gradually shed the limitations of the ego and awaken to the divine reality within and all around us. This awakening leads to a life of purpose, peace, and freedom, a life lived in service to the greater good, a life that reflects the divine light within us all.